The recess term is an academic activity that is carried out at the end of each academic year to give students who have completed year one an opportunity to have hands-on skills. This time around, we decided to block the activities. We started with soil science, where students were able to visualize waste materials, made compost, made vermicompost, made biochar, made wood vinegar, made frass, black soya larvae frass. And these amendments were then carried over to the next phase, which was crop production, where the students were tasked with managing plots using the amendments and the fertilizers which were provided to them, and the amendments they had produced in the first weeks of the recess term.
My name is Kabanyolo. I'm from Group 1, I do agriculture, and this is Group 1B. We chose cowpeas, and by the time we came here, it was in the third week, around 11th of June. This field had a lot of weeds, and we first did primary cultivation with the tractor. Then after we did secondary cultivation to remove the weeds, to make a fine seed bed. So then after, these plots were divided to 13 plots for the different groups, and they were divided in a 9 by 10 ratio, 9 meters by 10. Then after that, we put these holes, like the way you can see these plants, they're in order. It was by 30 centimeters by 75 centimeters. Yes, and that one is because we wanted these plants to easily, like to reduce any competition that would come about in case these plants were just in any order, like, yes, that was the reason. So, before we did the planting, we had to put some fertilizers, and we used the single fertilizers. That was MOP, then urea and SSP, yes, to provide the nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, which are the main nutrients that are needed by these plants. And of course, as I've said, we did the calculations. Those people who make those fertilizers, they always have the recommended amounts. So even you, when you're going to apply those fertilizers here, you don't just bring and put, you make the calculation depending on the size of your plot. And our plot, as I've said, it was 9 by 10 meters.
Calculations using the recommended rates of which was given according to our they were 20 kilograms per hectare for urea, and for nitrogen, then kilograms per hectare for phosphorus peroxide, and 25 kilograms per hectare potassium. So we calculated assuming the urea outside, urea which is 46% nitrogen. We applied 381 grams of urea, then 978 grams of TSP, and the urea of potassium was 75 grams. After that, we first put the to apply the fertilizer, they covered some soil to prevent the scorching of the seeds as they're germinating. Put fertilizer first in the holes, and then covered some soil and planted. Since we planted in off-season, it was really dry, we had to water. We had watering cans, we were provided watering cans, and there is also standing soil. We used water even in the morning. As they were growing, there came a period that we recognized that they were infested with aphids. The aphids were being seen, and they had caused some, when using the entomology and with consultation, we understood that they were transmitting some disease which was providing some yellow spots on the leaves and was being transmitted by the aphids. So we had to apply duacelamictin, and the aphids were wiped away. They left the garden. So when it was almost, I think last week, we had a hailstorm that really hit them bad. But they are trying to regain.
I will go fast. When I look at your field, the lines are in zigzag manner. At least the other people have their lines, the ones we have seen so far. Their line is straight.
Broadcast.
But yours, did you broadcast?
It was not broadcast, I think. It's mostly this side. Not this side down.
This one is Zaga. This one is.
You
The other one
accept and
is.
say we'll do better next time. Yeah, yes, accept and do better.
We use this
Okay.
because of some replanting. So we planted others.
Yes, my question. Thank you. Thank you for this. I want to get the kind of a summary from you, other team members. What is the objective of this? Objective of this trial? What is the expected output? And what's the take-home message? There are 3 questions in one.
One.
Because we want all of you to. For you already talked, maybe the next time.
You are not going to talk.
Yeah.
But since can you hear?
Because all of you participated, right? Yeah. Let others also give us some objective of this, the expected outputs, and then the take-home message.
Yes, the objective I can tell we are agriculturists. Here we are running how to grow crops this year. We acquired the experience our own experience because this one hands-on. Then we did it by ourselves to know what is difficult and what we can handle and what we can apply in the future. That's what we think.
Expected outputs.
Cowpeas.
So shall we read?
From what I can see, I don't think she'll get any cowpeas for this.
What did you come up? Before you came here, you had some expected outputs. What did you expect when you came
Planted
out?
cowpeas or just in a planting?
When you came, because I'm sure you sat down and planted knowing where you are going. What did you envisage when you planted?
So I did not even know that, but I expect a high yield, but I don't think
Oh, you expect high. What is the take home? Just on what is it?
Voila, take home message from you spending time on this plot.
the take home is that first of all we learned various measures mandatory, like the fertilizer application, and then I think it is not advisable to plant off season because water was a problem with the pests. I think they over-invested because it was past the season of planting.
So if, for example, we continue with getting droughts, you are advising that we should do, even if now we get one season of rain, we should only wait for rain. That's your take home message.
That was basing on the fact that we know that the seasons are not about to change.
So have you heard about the climate change?
Yes, and climate change takes some years, so by the time
So you are going to take the Karamoja, instead of the Kalimajong, that they should wait for season and go for it?
Wait for it to happen.
So what do you advise?
But Mr. Coordinator, you know, she indicated, I know the students have been talking about off-season, but there are some advantages to planting off-season.
Yeah.
Which in commercial production, some people would want to take advantage of, so they have the product when others do not have.
First introduce yourself. You take us through where you started from, the challenges you got along the way, and why are you at this stage?
Yeah, morning everyone.
Good morning.
So this is our field of Group 9B. We had carried out a demonstration planting in narrow bean 2. At first, because this is our second phase of planting, at first we planted narrow beans. They germinated. After 2 weeks, we realized that there was an infestation of bean fly and cutworms, which scorched and caused the wilting of the beans. So, and it affected the whole field. So we had to replant because the germinability percentage was not all that appropriate. So this field here, it's now 2 weeks old. It is 2 weeks. It is 1 week and.
When did you plant? Which day?
We planted
Which day?
Not last week.
You have to be specific. You check.
Okay. So our planting, the planting we planted the narrow bean 2. This is the narrow bean 2, the one we planted. But during the time we were planting, there was a lot of sunshine. So when the planting, our planting space was 50 by 10, and the depths we used for planting, since there was too much sunshine, we planted at a depth of 5 centimeters. So as per now, the germinability percentage, I think it is something like 30%, because this side most of the things have not germinated, and the other side at least.
Is it even 30?
Yes, somehow 3/4 of the field are germinated.
And yours? What is the germinability percent?
What brought all these germinability effects was that we planted at a deeper depth because there was a lot of sunshine, and when rain came, it was totally heavy rain and it compacted the soil. So,
did you again plant narrow bean 2?
Yes.
No, this side, the question is here. You again planted narrow bean 2 using the same technique.
Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to carry out the regular monitoring of our garden to keep investigating. We also soaked the seeds.
You soaked the seeds. So soaking the seeds helps to eliminate the bean fly.
We soaked the seeds in the pesticide.
Which pesticide? Imitrust. What is the chemical composition of Imitrust? And why is it the one you chose out of the many on the market?
Okay, we choose Imitrust because it was at least target to the pests which were facing here. And the nematodes, we had the cutworms and some.
The cutworm is a nematode. No, I'm just asking. Okay.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about where we started from. For us, we started from secondary cultivation, this plot, where we used the simple tools like those to make this seed bed. We first planted the narrow bean too. But due to the pests, we had to clear them down all because 75% of the field had been affected. So after clearing, we again
90%
had been affected. After clearing them, we carried out again more cultivation to make the seed bed fine, and again planted narrow beans. We had planted them at a correct planting depth of 5% and spacing of 50 by 20. But due to the heavy rains, they came and buried our seeds down.
So
And I also think
they are also trying their level best.
no, they are not trying their level best, but they are going to germinate. It's just a matter of time. It's just a time factor, which may be limiting. But everything, if you are given time, you can have high yield.
Higher yield is from this field. Okay. So what is the chemical composition of Imitrust and why did you choose it? Because I needed to know.
Okay. Let me be specifically under the chemical composition of Imitrust. I'm not sure of it.
Okay.
But it was the best.
Sauda, what is the take-home message?
Yeah, after spending here, how many weeks of research? 10. Take-home message from this that you can apply in your career and then out there when you are dealing with farmers. You are in extension and rural innovation. Which innovation are you getting from?
First of all,
You speak up, huh?
before planting, we have to first make sure that the piece of land we are going to use is at least free from insects and pests, because here we were highly affected with our first planting, that our seeds were infected with pests and we had to clear and then replant. Then also the season. The season matters because we planted these seeds during the dry season and we had to water the seeds, and as we watered, due to overwatering, the soils became hard for the seeds to germinate. So I have as I'm in the field talking to farmers, I have to let them know that they have to plant the seeds in the right time, like when the rains have started, not like as we did here, that planting in the dry season. They have to pay attention on the variety of seeds they are using to plant, and some, like as we told you earlier, that our seeds were infected, so sometimes we have to let them know that you have to first soak these seeds in some pesticides, I mean, before planting, so that we can prevent them from being attacked at an early stage.
Thank you.
Is the planting off-season completely dangerous?
Yeah, it is, because we are highly affected as we watered.
Totally dangerous.
Sir,
No, not totally, but
sir, I remember doctor telling us that this bean fly normally affects these beans in in dry season. They always have a high level.
So because of that, the farmers must not plant in dry season.
No,
what if it does not rain for
commercial farmers? They can at least come up with irrigation strategies. Yeah, to try to come up with their.
Is it irrigation or the season? Which one is? Is it water that brings the fly or the season?
The season.
So if the farmers irrigate, will that treat the fly?
Of course, it depends on the irrigation method they are using. Some of them will use drip or the other irrigation, or this one while they are foliar irrigation, while they are trying to mix with the pesticides.
Also, it may not treat the pest, it may not chase away the pest, but it will stimulate faster growth rate of beans, and then they reach the harvesting period at the right time.
Then also I remember doctor telling us that immediately, in order to try to control these bean fly, immediately when these things are a lot of sunshine, so we try to plant them deeply in that.
Is there any science?
That's what we thought of.
Huh? That's what?
We thought of.
That's what you thought of.
Like planting them deeper, they will at least survive a little bit until when they just.
Now the guys planted a bit shallow have got the plants.
So that means planting deeper.
But I think a negative result in that case would be worse to report.
Yeah, they have got
so that somebody will not do that again.
It's a learning experience for them.
That's why I'm bringing this discussion.
Yes,
so that
good.
you know.
So let's listen to this group and this one at the same time.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tina Kwagalako is my name, the group leader of this group, 2B. So we were assigned to plant beans, and this is how we managed them. To begin with, we started with land preparation. During this land preparation, and this plow did the primary tillage. And us, the students of this group, did the secondary tillage where we used hose to ensure that we get a fine tilth of the plot. Yeah, so our plot is a 10 meter by 9 meter plot, and that's all for land preparation really. So after preparing our land, we did the planting. The planting, to begin with, we did a spacing we formed rows, as you see. So the rows are 50 centimeters apart, and then the spacing of plant to plant is about 25 centimeters. And then the seeds, we used narrow seeds for the first planting. Even the second planting we used narrow seeds still, but these ones were treated the second time. Yeah, so the planting, we used 2 seeds per hole, and that was for the planting. Now, how did we manage the seeds after we planted? Yeah, so after planting, the first thing we did was management of water, because our planting was during a dry spell where we literally had no rain. It was just of recent that we started getting rain. So for the first days, actually for the first 10 days, we did watering. It was a daily routine for the first 10 days. And then after the 10 days, it was after 2 days. The watering was after 2 days. Yes. And for the let me first talk about the first planting. Well, for the first planting, we also did weed management, where we managed these weeds after 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks after emergency of the beans, we did the weeding. And the other management we did during our first planting was the pest management, yeah, because our pests, like earlier noted, were, I beg your pardon, our beans, as earlier noted, were infested by the bean fly. And this is how we manage the bean fly. On learning that we actually are infected with the bean fly, we manage this bean fly by spraying our beans using the rocket pesticide. The rocket pesticide that we used was a systemic one, where we did 40 mils of the rocket and added it to 20 mils of water, and we did the spraying. I beg your pardon. 40 mils of rocket to 20 liters of water, and we did the spraying. Yes. Though despite this, okay, when we sprayed, like by the time we got to learn about this bean fly, the population of our beans had gone so down, so we had no option but to do a second planting. As you see, our beans have just sprouted. Yeah, so for the second planting, we had to take precautions to prevent our bean flies from infecting our plants.
Inside here there are 2 plantings?
No, we planted first,
okay.
But then a bean fly reduced the population of our beans, so we uprooted what was left and planted a second time. Yeah, so before planting a second time, we had to find ways of managing this bean fly, yeah, because it's a systemic pest. It's a pest that does not affect the outside, but it affects even the inside of the plant, because it's in such a way that the fly lays the eggs at the base of the bean, and then when these eggs hatch, the larvae stage, which are the stem maggots, enter into the plant and go down the roots and destroy the roots, and as a result the plant wilts and it faces nutrient deficiency. So how we tried to manage this pest a second time was, first of all, the second time of planting we used treated seed from Naro, and this treated seed we soaked it in a pesticide overnight. This pesticide was imidacloprid. As we learned earlier that it's a systemic pest, yeah. So the reason for our soaking these beans in the imidacloprid pesticide was to provide protection to our seedlings early enough, yeah. Because when we soak these beans,
Did you say you got treated seed and again you soaked in the pesticide?
Yes, absolutely.
So then what was the importance of you getting the treated seed first and foremost?
Protecting our beans.
So you give
protection of our beans from the bean infestation.
Anyway, let's hear from this guy. Those stands are looking.
But the rows, some of them are narrow. All the rains.
My name is Odongo Timothy, and I'm in group 8B. The reason as to why these rows from this side up to the other side doing well
compared to this one. Earlier on, I said the seeds that were brought at first, they were not enough because we had to divide at least every group to get some portion. So now, after us realizing like they were not enough, we had to call Dr. Rima to request for more seeds. So the seeds that were brought later on are the ones we planted here.
So the seeds that I brought last are more superior?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I
And
can
the
say
seeds?
that, yes.
Okay. So what is the take-home message here?
Okay.
Where is the other group member?
We are here.
As we first planted our narrow bean one, we faced the challenges of the bean fly, cutworm. Then we decided to replant again. But at least our this second planting is better than the first phase that we did. And I'm sure we have hopes that all the seeds are going to germinate, because we've tried to sample the holes that have not yet germinated. We thought maybe the seeds were scorched by the fertilizer, but the holes that have not yet germinated, the ones we sampled, we found out that the seeds are there, they were not scorched.
Okay.
So what is the take-home message?
Now from
Take
here, you are going to go and interface with the farming communities. If you are to take something from here to them, which message do you take? Based on the challenges and other things that you did. Yeah. Summarize that. Okay, another team member.
Farmers should just give up.
My name is Moses Bagani.
Yes, Moses.
For us, when we are planting the second time, we just dug the garden, then we had to pour some water in the whole garden because it was totally dry.
Okay, the take-home message based on what you got here. Because I know you are writing a report.
Take-home message.
Take something.
Like when you want to plant seeds in a garden which has inadequate moisture water, you have to first apply water after digging, after secondary plowing. Then after you apply the seeds, then after applying the seeds, keep on adding some water.
Okay, now that it can be for the experiment, but now if you are doing with the farmers, doesn't that translate into timely planting? So, timely planting after the rains have come. So you have to
apply water 2 days after every 2 days.
The farmer may not apply water like you did.
The farmer, and your plot is small. The farmer has an acre.
When did they plant? At the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I would recommend the farmer to do timely planting until the farmer, because for us we didn't plant on time. That is one of the challenges. But if I'm talking to the farmer, I'll tell the farmer, make sure you plant on time to avoid challenges like inadequate water in the soil and pests.
So is late planting totally bad?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Totally bad.
Totally bad.
Not recommended at all.
Yeah.
Unless you have irrigation.
Yeah.
So this is you had challenges, but it's good for you. You have to learn and thank you.
Garden, and you compare with this one or the other garden, you'll find that ours at least it is drying, and if I'm to rate it is around 90%.
Okay.
So what we did to ensure that most of our seed germinate, it is we were watering constantly, each and every day. Would come here, water our garden, and even when we were planting, we first applied biochar in our garden using application rate of 3%. Then to add on that, we also calculated amount of fertilizer to be put in our garden. So you are seeing our bean plants, all of them are at the same rate.
So what is the take-home message from what you have done?
Now the take-home message, what I would recommend farmers and even other students, when you are planting any crop, you have to first look at the crop requirements of their crop. Like for our case here, when you are planting beans, you have to plant in the fertile soil, and even the textures of the soil and the drainage and some other things. Then secondly, the diseases, the pests that attack our garden. So let me talk about that. our garden have been attacked by the bean flies, that is the maggot. And when you are planting your beans, you shouldn't be planting your beans closer to any legumes, because like for cowpeas, they are the host of beans flies. But for them, beans flies cannot attack them. So when you plant your beans closer to that, it will attack them.
So you're telling me that the bean flies are hosted on the cowpeas?
Yes.
Dr. Tusime, come here. There is some information that I want you to verify. This guy says that the bean fly is hosted on the cowpeas, but the cowpeas are not affected.
It affects the beans.
But the bean is affected. Is it true?
The only thing I liked about this guy, he is very confidently saying something wrong. Such confidence. Yeah, but I think that we can clarify later. But it's true. It's not true that bean flies come from cowpeas. It's a specific pest for beans and it doesn't affect cowpeas.
Thank you so much. Because the guy was driving me in a very different direction, and I needed the clarity.
I had not used him to my boss.
For me, I got also from the website of now.
So when I look at your plants, your plants are taller than other plants. When did they germinate?
We planted on the 13th.
On the same day with others?
Every same day.
Oh, but why are these a bit taller?
Biochar.
Is it the biochar?
This guy's water.
Okay.
But the farmer doesn't water.
But also, maybe also the planting depth. Maybe something that people don't talk about.
How much you're watering? How often?
We are watering
every day.
Did you really put biochar
every evening?
It is there.
But I want to know, when they talk about 3% biochar, what does that mean?
He can explain.
Okay, let him explain.
Where are the other team members? You have to talk to us. You are
no. For you, rest.
You have done it very well.
Ojaba, come and explain. And you in this group?
Yeah.
You explain. Mari, where is your group, Mari? Huh? Not here.
Participatory here. Yeah, explain.
I'm going to talk about the 3% biochar. When we talk of the 3%, we were meaning that we applied 3% of biochar per unit volume of the soil. So what we did, this is 90 meters square, that is the area of this garden. And since the bean plants are annual crops, we went to a depth of 20 centimeters. So we multiplied the 90 by the 20 to get the volume of the soil. So when we got the volume of the soil, we went to 3%, 3 out of 100 of biochar per 1 unit volume of soil, and we multiplied it by the unit volume of our soil in the garden.
Okay. So how much biochar did you apply?
540 liters.
You are still answering for...
Because I know you should give us something.
Give her.
I can only shake.
Okay.
But this one gives more than just a handshake.
See me later.
And then come and thank me.
Take out the farmer.
But your plot is
good.
You see.
Amidst the challenges, because this is what the farmers face in real life.
And can even explain.
Summarize the take home, the farming community.
Yeah, the take home message that I can give as for now. When you are doing your farming activities, you need to put more effort. Then secondly, when you are creating holes and when you are planting your things, it should be in lines. As you are seeing mine, it is in line, and even the distance between the plants, everything compared.
So the agronomic, following the agronomic. Yes.
Plants are really taller.
Thank you. Wish you the best. Hope it doesn't only stop here. Okay.
So it had a germinability that of 80%.
80.
Yes.
The one that's here right now.
So I think that's why you're seeing a few missing spaces. We had not yet replanted because of the sunshine. There was a lot of sunshine, and so we just left it to be like this.
Okay.
So this is at about 75%.
I see here it's wooded there, they have those sedges.
We were affected by hailstones, so
these beans are
So
just...
the hailstorms brought the hedges?
No.
The sedges, those weeds.
The sedges.
Those weeds.
The grass.
There's grass, but also sedges.
For the past 1 week, we have been, because we were weeding in an interval of 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks we were weeding. So this past week we have been receiving a lot of rain. So that is why. And during secondary cultivation, we didn't use a tractor.
Big man.
We were using hand hoes. So they were traces of weeds.
Have you heard of a period of critical weed competition? Do you think these weeds at this stage will affect the cowpea? How old is this cowpea?
They are 35
Where are they?
Because now the cowpea has grown, it has other issues, but the weeds that come later, sometimes you don't have to bother managing them, but you remove them so that you avoid problems.
There was, we were 7 or 8, like in the evenings,
you come.
So from the challenges and the success stories, Nakuya, tell us the take-home message.
That you take to the farmers out there, if you meet a farmer with similar challenges tomorrow, which take-home message?
Advise farmers to apply fertilizer to ensure fast growth and timely, and also timely planting, and also use of pesticides, because okay, at first our crops are not affected by the aphids. I think they have been affected over in the last 2 days. At first the leaves were okay, there were no pests.
During is clear. The cowpea is a legume plant, right? It fixes nitrogen. Does it need fertilizers like maize and wheat? Pardon?
We have phosphorus deficiency here. In this plot, there's a phosphorus, a few traces of phosphorus.
So you didn't apply nitrogen, you applied it?
No, we put
what is that? Because of the challenges you faced, you want them to do the right thing, right? Or you want them to do exactly what you did?
So what do you intend to do with your cowpea? Are you stopping today?
I'm going to harvest and find out.
Don't go there yet. I don't know what, okay, they didn't tell us the variety.
But you're supposed to have found out. Sekao.
They didn't look like the normal cowpeas.
But are these just for pods or also for leaves? But you need to know. You need to know, because you are now the researcher. The researcher who is the agronomist tomorrow when I'm retired.
Some of us will buy your cowpea as vegetables, but we're wondering whether you're going to harvest.
Yes. Okay, we need a take-home message.
Where? This side, please.
We used not to have plant lines. We could just broadcast.
Okay.
But now I've been told that cowpea can be best grown because now the lines you have been exposed to at and also cowpea is also highly affected with the aphids, because it's one of that lot which has been highly affected, and we have tried a bit to control it using rockets. Now you can see, and I think it's been good. I think here it does better, because I think in terms of competition, maybe because the other side we just broadcast regardless of the space. I think it does not go all that.
But your parents plant on time. Here you couldn't plant on time.
Yeah, we didn't plant on time because now we came in. It was broad time, and we had to plant. And we had to irrigate as well.
So based on your the agronomic practices that you know, what's the package that you carry? Based on your experience here and
the experience now I've gained here, we have to do it in terms of lines. I have a feeling at home you're harvesting more. Not all that much.
You don't want to because if they are planting early and also and at home I'm sure the intercrop. this is a monocrop.
Yeah.
You know, what are the advantages of intercropping? Yeah.
Intercropping now, for example, this is a region crop. So if at all we intercrop it with maybe banana, and
With
we know
banana?
it has
Which crops do they intercrop with? Cowpea?
maize.
Okay.
Maize specifically. So this is a region crop and it has the nitrogen fixing bacteria. So that bacteria will fix nitrogen in the soil, which will be used up by the other by the maize.
How about in terms of pest management? Intercrops, are they better than monocrops? Because it's a monocrop. Most of our farmers practice intercropping.
Yes, sir.
This one?
We spent 8 weeks.
Yeah, the 8 weeks. The take-home messages and the experiences worth it?
Yeah, they are worth it.
Okay. You've learned the challenges, but also now you can do it. Thank you.
I would want to say that this has been the most successful research term in the history of the school, and I want to commend everyone, including the administrators who were always on the ground. Thank you so much, and I request you to continue with that spirit of building our students for the future. Thank you so much.